Hello everybody. I want to talk about why we learn about history and art. We're in school not only to learn about business or leadership, but the totality of education that exists in our world. It's through education that we become not only a more productive person, but a more happy and enlightened one. How does education accomplish this task? Well, we start with the basics, which include history, philosophy, science, and the arts. These subjects are important. Hello everybody. I want to talk about why we learn about history and art. We're in school to learn not only about business and leadership, but the totality of education that exists in our world. It's through education that we become not only a more productive person, but a more happy and enlightened one. How does education accomplish this task? Well, we start with the basics, which include history and philosophy, science, and the arts. These subjects are important to learn because they expose you to the great thoughts and literature and about key subjects that influence most of society. For example, history tells us the most complicated and fascinating story ever told, the story of the human race. The great Italian philosopher and historian Benedetto Croce once observed that since history deals with the actions of human beings, and since human beings have not changed much over time, history illuminates our current dilemmas and perplexities. Machiavelli likewise reasoned that from one period to the next, the good and evil which occurs in society changes very little, so we can learn much about how man lived in previous generations. We can become influenced by how they responded to those situations, since we now have the advantage and good fortune to see the results of these particular decisions at that point in time. We study art to learn about creativity. Some don't understand why you should take a music class, an acting class, or by the age of 50, learn to play the piano. You do so because you learn how to expand your mind, how to broaden your horizons, how to think in a new manner. All help train your mind to be more creative, to try the sounds of a new piano key, especially when you combine with other piano keys, and you can create great music at any age. Some of the more complex and creative people in our world are artists like Steven Spielberg and Bill Gates. All the great writers, thinkers, and artists of the past, in fact, are our contemporaries, in a sense that we have much to learn from them. Today, in some areas, we allow people to grow up without a sense of how yesterday affects today, and they're unlikely to have a strong sense of how today affects tomorrow. It's only when we become conscious of the flow of time that the consequences of action, whether it's taking drugs or dropping out of school, become a consideration. It's only when we have a perspective of our lives that motivates us to move beyond immediate gratification and to plan for tomorrow. Artists and the arts matter because they're among the instruments, the bearings, the trappings of civilization that are the means of educating the young. They matter because on canvas and paint and song and in photographs, they say something about who we are, what we think, and what we believe. Films or drama marshal audiences swiftly and powerfully to the side of certain values. We hope they're good ones. Because these things are public, we see them and take something from them. Likewise, literature just doesn't introduce us to kids like us, but to people who can be better, to make us better. Fairy tales and hero stories tell us about struggles between people in the hope that we choose the right side after we finish the story. Then there's science, where the intent is not necessarily to see the outcome of the experiment, but to learn the importance of following a regimented process to a conclusion. You train your mind to follow each step with clarity of purpose and investigation of the outcome. Here, the basics of education matter because they provide the foundation of one's life, to think and to be better. We take a course in college, we read a variety of books and magazines to gain not only knowledge of that particular field, but knowledge of the world and our place in it. Each article you read broadens your knowledge base, a knowledge base that you can then use to change or solidify your biases and perceptions, to raise your confidences and to make more reasoned decisions about the direction of your life and maybe your organization. That said, in order to be successful in and to have a sense of happiness with our world, you must understand the infinite possibilities that await its average citizens. The process of education serves as a catalyst to identifying those possibilities and creating the drive and ambition to ensure those possibilities are realized. Such is the value of art and history, and such is the impact that they can have on your future. My best to you. Have a great day.